Take roll call again. Councilwoman Foster?
Here.
Councilman Iannicone?
Here.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Here.
Councilman Silva and Councilman Umbriac are excused this evening. Councilman Russo?
Here.
Council President Polipchuk?
Here.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Please, everyone, join me in a moment of silence. And please rise for a pledge of allegiance. Thank you.
Okay, prior to the regular meeting, there was executive session held where a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris authorizing settlement of the tax appeals entitled Luke Oil North America LLC versus Town of Morristown was discussed. At this time, I would please ask for a motion to add that resolution to the regular agenda as resolution number R-129-2026.
So moved.
Second.
On the addition of that resolution to the agenda, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Council President Polipchuk.
Yes.
Motion carries. It has been added. There's just one item on the consent agenda this evening. Unless council has any comments, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Okay, Councilwoman Foster.
Abstain.
Councilman Iannicone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
And Council President Polipchuk.
Abstain.
Motion carries. Those minutes are adopted. At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing on any matter. When called upon, please approach the microphone, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Be advised that any derogatory comments targeting members of council and/or administration may be ruled out of order.
Mr. Madden?
Good evening. I have to state my name and address, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, John Madden from 28 Grant Street here in Morristown. I have two issues that I wanted to discuss tonight, and a number of questions that go with each. All right, so last town council meeting, June 30th, Positive Pathways made a plea for funding. The township and town both withdrew $30,000 of funding from the budget in concert with Dr. Mucci and the Morris School District, who said that they are going to handle it in district with mental health professionals. Mayor Doherty claimed that he wasn't aware, but that he'd look into it, and that either way, they would have to wait until next year anyway. So my question is there the same or similar amount of money in the budget allocated to funding the district? And if so, is it specifically for the purpose of mental health services, or is it for some other priority initiative? So that's my first question. All right. Second issue, on June 17th, Phil Abramson's Topology held an invitation-only meeting in room 201 of Town Hall to discuss updating the 2011 OSRP, or Open Space Recreation Plan. In addition to 2 topology reps, there were 7 other folks in the meeting, primarily from the south side of town, with more moneyed and privileged interests. There was also a survey intended to gather feedback from the community at large regarding open space recreation within town. Unfortunately, the link to the survey was hidden on the Topology LinkedIn page for a handful of days until it made a brief appearance on the town website. In addition, Chris Colley of Topology manned an info booth at the Morristown Farmers Market. Of course, this is hosted by the Morristown Partnership. This was on Sunday, June 28th. Apparently hoping that folks from the far edges of town, Speedwell, MLK, et cetera, might stop by for some heirloom tomatoes. Phil Abramson and Topology have been with the town as continuous consultants since 2010. It's well known that they partner with the town and the Morris Partnership to help guide and implement the master plan, whatever your feelings about the master plan. By focusing exclusive, no, never mind that. I'm concerned with the following. Why does Topology have a voice in open space and recreation initiative that impacts the whole town, and especially its periphery, when they're most concerned with the master plan, which is at the center of town? And more importantly, and this is where I think there needs to be some action, will the town and/or Topology be starting from scratch to update their survey to get a more valid sampling of all Morristown residents that include families with school-aged children and residents that are lower on the socioeconomic spectrum?
Mr. Madden, if you could please conclude your comments?
Yep, almost done.
Thank you.
These are the residents that need and rely on park space the most. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Madden. Any other members of the public wish to address the council? Sir? Just a reminder, please state your name and address when you get to the microphone.
Okey doke. By the way, I don't know how to pronounce your name right. Oh, and the Double Dare clock has already started. My name is David Richard Cook from 37 Speedwell Place in Morristown, New Jersey. For those who don't know me, for the past several months that I've been around here in this lovely building with these lovely people and the guy who had the wonderful hair over there in the corner that was replaced by Bill Butel from Eyewitness News. No offense, you do look like him, you do look like him, you do look like him, you have to admit it. But outside of that, the reason why, I can do better? I mean, Bill Butel is the biggest compliment I can give you. Anyway, outside of dealing with a series of litany list of issues, whether it be the HOA, the this, that, and the third, and of course, now the meter maids, that has given me this, that's 5. There was 2 in my other pocket over in the corner. I know I'm getting away from the microphone, but let's just say I am now 7 for 7 this year for going to court for issues around my house, including now because of the meter maids. I know you call them the parking authority, but come on, let's face it, meter maids. Meter maids. Let's call them what they are, meter maids. So, with the meter maids that gave me a ticket for parking in residential, and with the laws flipping more than a pancake at an IHOP at 9 a.m. in the morning for breakfast, I've been trying to figure out for the longest amount of time since I've had an issue with these guys that, is it residential parking in front of 37 Speedwell Place, or is it public parking in front of 37 Speedwell Place? Because if it is, and if it's residential parking, and not to call out the people who live on Sussex who have a tendency to park in front of my house, hint, 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 I said, you know what? I'm going to let bygones be bygones, because this gentleman over here invited me to the Jazz Festival, and that's step 1 leading to step 2, which me going to the Fall Festival on the Green. That's the thing I hinted to the mayor at, who I can now call Anderson Cooper, was in front of a downed tree. So, outside of all these major issues that I had, to the meter maids that I got to deal with, and the people who are at the front desk that I have to talk to on a multitude of occasions, and by the way, to the receptionists who are at the front desk, please, a little bit of spirit in your life, please, just a little bit, because I hate to see that look on your face of, well, I hate my job and I have to help this person, but for some strange reason, it's a drag to send them to a direction, so can you please go pick up the phone over in the corner? I've been in funeral homes alive more than the actual places around here, and trust me, when I go to court in another 8 days, I'm gonna let the judge know the same thing. Pick up the spirit, you know, a little bit of life. I mean, it's okay to laugh, it's okay to joke. We only get one go around in this world, so that's what I'm here to do. And got a feeling in the next couple of months I'm gonna do that pretty effectively, because for those who don't know, as I drop my headphones, I tend to leave a mark. My name is David Richard Cook from 37 Speedwell Place in Morristown, New Jersey, for those who have an issue with my comments, and I approve this message.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cook.
See you at 11.
Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak to the council? All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment. All right, council responses? All right, so Mr. Madden, I know you have my contact information. Please send me an email. We'll find some time. We can talk about all the issues that you get brought up. I don't want to go into every single one. Regarding the budget for something going to schools for mental health, Ms. Barrett can probably speak more confidently than I can, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing in there for this year.
Correct. So, Mr. Madden is correct. The organization's funding was eliminated from both our budget and township's budget in 24. 24 was the last year, so it was eliminated last year, and there was no funding last year or 2026. There was a change in leadership with their organization in 2023, which I think was part of a communication, lack of communication on their part with us, but our budget is set for this year. I did meet with them last week, as I promised that I would do when they visited with us, and I was able to get some interesting information. I gave them some guidance. I also offered to work with their grant writer, have our grant writer work with their grant writer, seek some additional outside funding sources to help support their organization, and they're certainly allowed to request funding in the 2027 budget year, which I gave them direction in what to do in that case. Keeping in mind, though, that our budget, as everyone knows, has been challenging every year, particularly since COVID, and we have reduced, in some cases, support of outside organizations, including the Morristown Green. So, to kind of, temper their expectations, but we certainly will, continue to engage with them and entertain their budget requests, just like we do the other organizations that we support. With regard to the OSRP, which is the Open Space and Recreation Plan, Topology is the town's planner and is entrusted with doing all planning activities on behalf of the town. The Open Space Recreation Plan has a pretty robust public engagement process that was part of the grant application that we were awarded money to support the activity. So the farmers market is one of the places that they went to solicit feedback. We also did a night in the parks where we went to 4 different parks simultaneously in different communities, including Speedwell, Caldwell, Bud Street, and Lidgerwood Park. Burnham. In order to, Burnham, yes, I'm sorry. It was Burnham and Lidgerwood, to solicit feedback from different parts of our community. We had really good response and feedback from all of those communities. We also did circulate the link for the survey through all of our social media platforms, through our email lists, through all of our stakeholder engagement lists, through your contacts as well, to try to disseminate the survey as wide as possible and to get feedback as widely as possible. And we have also gotten some good response. So while I understand the concern about the lack of engagement, we have made a lot of effort to engage a lot of different parts of our community, and we'll continue to do so through the end of that process.
Jillian, what's the next step with that plan?
So they will be concluding the public engagement process and the survey shortly, and then over the summer. And they also met with several constituency groups, including the organizations that run our youth sports programs. They also met with the Environmental Commission, the Shade Tree Commission, Burnham Park Association, different kind of aspects of open space. So the next phase is for them to take all of that feedback, distill that down into a plan, a draft plan that will be drafted over the summer. We will review that internally, and then ultimately, I believe it will be made public sometime this fall. And then it will be, they'll engage in a more formal planning process. It'll go to the planning board, and ultimately, once it's finalized, it will be adopted as part of our master plan.
And during that entire process, there's an opportunity for public input?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so Mr. Madden, too, if you have any more questions with it, please feel free to reach out to me. I can make sure you have the dates of any of the other events. I can attest to everything that happened in Burnham Park during the Parks Night. I was there. It was a good response.
Yes.
So I think it was great. So.
Thank you.
Just for the council's
Can you
knowledge.
speak into the microphone, Mr. Mayor?
Just for the council's knowledge, should pick me up from here.
It doesn't.
If those who remember, and Councilwoman Foster may be the one, and maybe Councilwoman Lindsay, and I'm not sure if Bob was here. Team Pride used to be the organization that now is Promise Positive Pathway. So when I was a councilman and in the early part of my career as mayor, they would come in well in advance of the budget process. They would come in, speak to the administration, then they would actually come and do a presentation in front of the council with stats, how many kids they helped, what their progress has been, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I got to be honest, I have not seen them, had a conversation with them in years. And them coming here was great to see, because we're all big supporters of mental health. Is that I thought it just went away, Team Pride, and I heard that the school cut them by 200,000, if not more. So they definitely have a need for funding. But the process is the process, and that's why when they came at that meeting, I had, they have never come, that organization has come to me since they changed hands. Team Pride has not come to the front of this council and advocated for money for years. So that's one of the things, you have to come and ask. You just can't give people money and not have statistics and stuff to back up what the funding's for. The green comes every year. Morristown Green every year before the budget process. And the business administrator had to cut theirs because financially we're in a tough spot. So that is the process, and I said it as gently as I could that process has passed. They did come in, which was great, and had a great meeting with the business administrator, so I give them credit for that. I'm sure we'll definitely hear from them early next year. And working with I think it's very, very honorable and very, very gracious and very, very kind that we're giving them the use of working with our grant writers to try to help them.
That's great. That's great.
And that's what we do. And I wish they were here a little earlier because we could have did something early. But you got to get in there early and make your presentation to the council, because council is ultimately the ones that are going to approve the budget. So thank you for bringing it to our attention, and I'm glad Team Pride didn't die, and now it's under a different name, because kids always need help, especially with the, what?
So I didn't even know they were still around.
No, I didn't think they were still around, because it's been so long since I've heard from them. But hopefully, this will be a new start, and they stay afloat. I think they will. And next year, we look forward to talking to them and meeting them early. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any other comments from the council? All right, next item of business is the report of mayor and town officials.
Okay. All right, first, I'm going to go off script a little bit. No, I had no coffee before the meeting. So don't worry about that. I gave up caffeine after the morning. But I want to just briefly touch on July 3rd, the storm that rolled through here with about 20-minute notice for our community and several other communities around the county. I want to thank the fire department. I want to thank the DPW. I want to thank the police department, our OEM staff with Chief Flanagan, Mike Cochran, Chief Darnell, and his staff. I know that he had the captains on it, and Bob Flynn from JCP&L. Doesn't get enough credit for the amount of communication that he had with me. I don't know how much he communicated with the OEM, but he was constantly on the phone giving me updates and what they were doing and the process throughout the county. A lot of towns got hit a lot worse than we did. We lost 1,700 outages. We had 1,700 outages. We took us a number of days to get them all up. People were at their wits' end when you don't have power. It's difficult, because especially with people working at home, if you don't have a generator, it makes it even more difficult. But a lot of this stuff, what comes out of this stuff is that these storms we've now experienced 4 or 5 throughout the last decade or so. It's all the way back to Sandy and Irene. We had a couple microbursts. Those remember what happened on Western Avenue when we had that microburst. knocked down almost so many trees on Western Avenue, it was a disaster. That it's time that we really implement, I'm going to talk to our public safety director, our business administrator, and the council, a real team that reacts to disasters, and a fast reacting and a fast action team. Because what I saw with and I want to thank Abe, our government contact, our rep for Trenton, and all the calls that they have with the JCPL and with the state, the governor's office. You're not on these calls, but I'm on the calls with all these mayors, and listening to what they're dealing with. We've had it happen here so many times that we kind of react pretty well to it. Our DPW, our fire department, our police department, and I want to personally mention Joe Curlo, Wendell Tolliver, and Dante Harrison, the leaders in our DPW. Our roads were clear of trees by 1:30 a.m. in the morning, except for those that had live wire on it. For days, I heard mayors screaming that they couldn't get a tree out of a road. And you have to be able to recognize that our employees don't have to come in when they're called. You want them to come in, but technically, no, the ones that are on staff are on staff, but, it's an emergency, they came. They came, and that's one of the things that don't get recognized enough is these are people who work for us, who take care of our town. And they need to be recognized, and all the people that go along with it. That was, I'll put it in perspective, and then I'll shut up about it and read the rest, because there's a million things I could say, because I was actually, had to cut a lot of things short to get back here, because my phone wouldn't stop ringing, and I had to answer every call. And every minute of every day of the day, talking to JCP&L, where a homeowner didn't have power. It's one thing when you give your phone out to a lot of people, and when there's a disaster, all those people call, and they're looking for help. And it came when their time in the queue was for them to get their power back. And that's how it works. It was a bad storm. So I'll end on this. In Sandy, we lost 260, 70 snap poles between the phone company and JCP&L. In a 20-minute storm, we had as many poles snap. In a small storm that went through one area. That's pretty intense. Pretty intense. And hats off to Jillian and our Shade Tree Commission and our DPW, because we took all our ash trees down. And we didn't have every friggin' ash tree go tumbling over, taking out lines and taking out poles. And, we did that. We were proactive on taking the diseased trees out. And that's because we have a Shade Tree Commission and a organized community of workers that do a good job for our community, the people out here, the people that are in the public, and the people that are going to watch this on the tube. When you see a DPW worker or a fireman or a police officer, thank them, because they're out there every day. It doesn't matter. They deal with this stuff every day. So thank God that no one got killed. A lot of people had to, then they're still cleaning up. Today I watched DPW trucks loaded with tree limbs and brush and everything just going down South Street, picking up stuff from the streets, and people put out from their property. So thank again to all those people that had something to do with it. I can't thank them enough, and I can't thank the public enough for just hanging in there, because it was a crazy storm. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And that's what it's going to happen. It's going to get like that more and more. So we have to be prepared. And I talked to JCP&L about it and other mayors, and it's time that when I'm no longer the mayor, the next mayor is going to have to deal with these things, and then other towns, during these conversations with the mayors, I got a message, Mayor, say something, because you've been through storms. Say something. And what all could come to my mind, I didn't. I did raise my hand, but they called on me, but my mute thing didn't work, so they had me muted. I was gonna say, welcome to your first disaster. And they probably wouldn't have went over too well, but maybe it would have laughed, and because it's very stressful. I mean, I had one mayor that could not get to her firehouse for an ambulance, and the fire department couldn't get to the rigs because the trees that were blocked on the road. That's some serious stuff, you know? And that's why everybody was screaming. You read it in the paper, everybody was screaming, why didn't the governor call for a state of emergency and all this other stuff? You know, that's beyond my pay grade, so. But we got it done, and we're gonna learn from it and hopefully get more prepared for when these disasters happen. Okay, thank you, Council President, for letting me go on for that. Wednesday, the 24th, we had Cops and Rodders at the Morristown Green. Again, thank you to the Morristown Police Department, those who put that together all the time. It's a great event. Monday, July 5th, thank you to the State of New Jersey, Governor Mikey Sherrill, for the mobile DMV unit. It was at Town Hall parking lot. We have had them a few times and hope to have them again. It's a great benefit to our community, so pay attention on the website when that comes out. So the public definitely takes use of that. It's a great thing that the mobile unit comes here. The 13th, we had a ribbon cutting at Victor Woolhall Park, which is obviously just the other day, yesterday. Thank you, Jillian Barrick, our business administrator, our recreation, our grant writers, everybody that had put that together. And Bob, Councilman Iannacone cut the ribbon and hit board, and they had a nice little children's playground there. And I wanted just to shout out to, you know, to the residents that pushed for that and worked with us to get that design and get it done. And Anthony from engineering. Is Anthony here? No? Family, okay, so thank you for engineering too. They were good. Saturday, the 20th of June, rabies vaccination clinic. Thank you to our animal control officer and health office for its coordination. Upcoming events, Thursday, the 16th, our council president's most cherished event, the Verizon 5K.
I'll be running it.
Are you running it this year? All right.
Fourth year
Starts
in a
and finishes at Morristown High School. Are you running it, Chris?
No.
You know more running?
I'm still right. I don't want to jump in races anymore.
No, you gotta miss that hair up. No, it's a big event. It's a huge event.
3,500 people.
How many?
3,500 to the
3,500. Okay, so that's the Verizon 5K, 7:30 Thursday, tomorrow night. I mean, Wednesday, Thursday night. Okay, Saturday the 18th, from noon to 5, Central Biblico's annual Hope Day Festival at Colwell Park. For those who don't know that, that's our councilman, Pastor Silva's event for his church. That's Saturday, and then Saturday from 11 to 7 p.m., the annual Caribbean Day picnic at Abbott and Granby Park. Durbin will be there in full force, and that's always a lively event and a lot of fun. On Tuesday, the 21st, Morristown Recreation Summer Movie Night at Caldwell, featuring Zootopia. Anybody see Zootopia? David saw Zootopia. I have not seen Zootopia, but I could see it next Tuesday. Sunday, August 2nd, noon to 6, Calvary Baptist Church will do his Family Fun Day at Caldwell Playground. That's August 2nd. And Saturday, August 15th, My Pride and Joy, noon to 10, Jazz and Blues Festival on the Green. Visit morristownjazzandblues.com for lineup and details. You all know who the closer is now. It's Kingfish. We were really worked hard to get him as a closer. He's probably one of the best blues artists in the country, and hard to get. And we were able to make the announcement just a couple of weeks ago because he was playing a gig somewhere where you're not allowed to announce it, because if they find out he's coming here and it's a free event, they won't buy tickets to go see him. So we're really excited about our lineup. The lineup's fantastic from start to finish. And I also want to make an announcement, special announcement to Scott Weaver, police officer, detective, retired on July 1st, 2026. He was hired July 10th, 2006, and retired July 1st. And after 20 years of service to the town of Morristown, Chief Darnell Richardson, who's in the back, knows that we've lost a good officer there, retired early, got out of the game after 20 years, and he will be missed as he was a very active and successful detective and officer for the town of Morristown. Would you concur? I would. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, council liaison reports. Councilwoman Lindsay?
Good evening. I have two reports. First, the 4th of July holiday. Morristown, Howden are back, and the Morristown Police Department worked together again to ensure a peaceful 4th of July holiday at the Manhattan Village to prevent illegal fireworks and disturbance behavior on the Sioux. Morristown Housing Authority report no disturbance. Behavior required the police intervene and the resident enjoy the holiday weekend. I want to, first thing, I don't know the two officers that was in the residence center, but they walked out and they walked around, they engaged in all of it. It was very polite, very peaceful. First of all, I've never seen an officer warn us that the rain was coming. They did. They warned us that you got to get in. Rain going to be here around about 10 o'clock. So that was great. My fourth one, Friday, August the 14th, the Morristown Housing Authority will be holding a summer family fun at the Manhattan Village Center from noon to 4. All are invited for all afternoon for games, music, prizes, and food. That's it. And I'll give you this. That's it.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
Councilman Russo?
Next planning board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, July 23rd, and we'll see if it happens. That's it.
Oh, it's happening. You have a,
Oh, yeah. It is happening.
you have an ordinance you have to review.
Please don't cancel that one. All right, and we have Councilman Umbrack and Councilman Silva are absent, so we don't have their reports. So we'll move on to regular business.
Okay, we have one ordinance for introduction this evening, and it's ordinance O-22-2026, ordinance of the Town of Morristown, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, prohibiting the feeding of wildlife.
Make a motion to introduce ordinance O-22-2026.
Second?
Any comments or questions? Okay, on the introduction of ordinance 22-2026, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Anacone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
And Council President Polipchuk.
Yes.
Ordinance O-22-2026 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on August 18th. There are 3 resolutions for public hearing and adoption. Ordinance number O-19-2026, ordinance of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey for compensation for the elected mayor, town council members, and council president in the Town of Morristown, New Jersey, and amending all ordinances concerning such compensation heretofore adopted.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance O-19-2026.
Second?
At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance 19-2026 only. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions? On the adoption of ordinance O-19-2026, Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Anacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
And Council President Polipchuk?
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance 19-2026 is adopted. Ordinance number O-20-2026, ordinance of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey for compensation for management/non-union positions in the Town of Morristown, New Jersey, and amending all ordinances concerning such compensation heretofore adopted.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance O-20-2026.
Second?
At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance O-20 only. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions? On the adoption of ordinance O-20-2026, Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Anacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Council President Polipchuk?
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance 20-2026 is adopted. Ordinance O-21-2026, ordinance of the Town of Morristown, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending Section 7-16, parking of certain trucks, vehicles, and trailers prohibited, and Section 30-215.2, exceptions and conditions of prohibited uses of the Code of the Town of Morristown to clarify that certain vehicle weight limitations shall be based on gross vehicle weight rating.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance O-21, 2026.
Second.
I'll open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance O-21 only. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions?
Yes, I'd just like to thank you, Council President, for working with the administration, with our town attorney, Jillian, Mayor, to come to some kind of, resolution with this. This has been an issue for those of you who don't know for quite some time now with the commercial vehicles. I've received numerous complaints, and Councilwoman Lindsay, she's received a lot of complaints. So we've been dealing with this for some time, so it's good to see that we found a solution, and I thank you for, pushing this through, putting it on the agenda in my absence last council meeting, and I just thank everybody that was a part of it, and I hope that you all will support the ordinance. I'm sure the residents in 2nd and 3rd Ward, for sure, I know, will be happy that this is being addressed, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
On the adoption of ordinance O-21-2026, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Anacone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Council President Polipchuk.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance 21-2026 is adopted. There are 8 resolutions on the agenda for consideration. Would members of council like to pull any for separate consideration?
125?
Okay, any others? With that, I would ask for a motion to adopt resolution numbers R-122-2026 through R-124-2026 and R-126 through R-129-2026.
So moved.
Second.
On the adoption of those resolutions, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Anacone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
And Council President Polipchuk.
Yes.
Motion carries. Those resolutions are adopted. Resolution number R-125-2026, resolution authorizing execution of a purchase and sale agreement between Morris Habitat for Humanity, Inc. and 1016 LLC by the Town of Morristown to approve portions of said agreement that pertain to affordable housing in accordance with the M. Lofts Spring Street Urban Renewal LLC redevelopment agreement.
Make a motion to adopt resolution R-125-2026.
Second.
Councilman.
Yes. Nice job on this, by the way. I think taking it all through the beginning of the planning process, that side of Spring Street, again, I think everybody did a very, very good job on this. Thank you very much. That being said, one of the things that was being discussed during those hearings, and we were talking, Jillian, was actually the historical preservation of the exterior of the structure. Because a lot of history with town, because people, mine and Tim's age, has been pointed out tonight several times, will tell you, we remember when Morristown, that was the common structure down in that section of town. That it was I'll say, it was the tenement section of town for a long, long, long time. So the historical preservation of that, I think, was a real good objective of the planning process that got us to where we are tonight. That being said, in the agreements, I did not see anything that specifically said that it was going to be preserved in its historical nature. But it's my understanding that is the understanding.
The intent is to keep the building and to certainly renovate it, bring it up to modern standards on the inside, and make them available for homeownership as part of the Habitat for Humanity program. So it's a win-win, win-win-win.
What I would
all
hope
those levels.
maybe we consider doing is just to keep a set of eyes on it, is actually maybe involve the Historical Commission. Sometimes they're out there. We wonder sometimes how they can help us even more. Is maybe we can do something to keep an eye, because it is an important structure, and that was a big part of the dialogue, that the nature of that building and the look of that building be preserved. And I'm sure we'll follow up on that.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Okay, on the adoption of resolution R-125-2026, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Anacone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Council President Polipchuk.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution is adopted.
All right, we have no unfinished old business, we have no new business, so I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?